Now we're ready.
Okay. This is a briefing on the fire down at Twin Lakes, or Interlaken, I guess, to be more precise. And I think, well, first of all, thanks for fire service and first responders, you know, local emergency personnel, everyone who's, imagine you've had a busy 24 hours, so thank you for taking time. And I'll just hand it right over. I guess two things just to say. We do have translation available here if that is needed. So if there is anyone, well, I guess in the room, but if there's anyone on Zoom who would like us to do translation of the speakers, we can do that. So just raise your hand, and yeah, I mean, at any time, and we can break into that mode of doing translation with the speakers. And then second, I just want to say, we won't take questions at this briefing. In this briefing that we're about to have right here, there'll be information on plans for future public briefings where there can be, you know, real-time questions, and also where are the right places to go online to get up-to-date information and ask questions there. Tim.
Emily, could you just translate the first part if folks can need it?
Thank you.
Estamos aquí para dar una sesión de información de todo lo que está pasando, especial en Interlaken por Twin Lakes, con el incendio que hubo. Hay interpretación disponible. Si alguien la necesita, por favor levante su mano, ya sea aquí o por Zoom.
Maybe just waiting to see, I don't know if fellow commissioners have any comments or things they want to say up front before handing it over to the briefing speakers.
Yeah, quick ditto echoing the gratitude that we have for everybody on scene and doing logistics and organizing. And also I think it's helpful maybe because we have so many folks, staff and responders online and in the room. So for the public, as you mentioned, Commissioner Fiedler, not able to ask the questions, we will be having that discussion though across the room. So I don't want that to be confused or frustrating for any folks.
Do you want to? No comments. Okay, then I will turn it over to the people who are actually working the scene. So thank you. I actually don't know who to turn to first.
Yeah, multiple. I can start. So I'm Pat Mercer, I'm the local district ranger. And the fire that's down at Interlaken, we're calling it the Interlaken fire. It is approximately 400 plus acres at this point. We saw growth yesterday in that fire, seeing additional growth today based on some of the weather and wind that's down there at that site. We have a lot of resources on site, including some of the municipal resources, county resources, state resources, federal resources, and we're asking for more. And so right now it's a transitional time because of how the fire is behaving, where it's going, where it might go, and the commensurate organization building that's associated with that. So what we're doing right now is building an organization based on what we're seeing and what's being projected. So there are a lot more resources on the way. Most of those resources are operational, but some of them are logistics, and some of them are in the planning realm. We actually transitioned incident commanders just this morning, and our new incident commander is behind me here, and that's John Markolinis. Good afternoon.
Hi, John.
And I'll turn it over to him to talk a little bit more about the operational aspects of that. But what we're trying to do is work in concert with all the partners to formulate a good strategy that is going to help us to meet the objectives out there and to protect the values out there. And the first two of those are life and property. So we're seeking to account for those first, and then as we can operate safely out there, we're committing resources as they arrive, going through the risk management process to do that. So You're gonna see a lot more people in the community, to help protect the community. So there's obviously, you know, the Leadville district staff, probably most of you do, or some of you do. And that, you know, what that staff looks like, plus a fire organization is pretty robust. And so you're gonna see a lot more traffic, you've already seen more, you're gonna see more. And so just expect that, we're trying to put out more information to the public as well. A virtual sort of informational, spot that's updated, is being prepared right now. And we're gonna send that out through multiple channels so that people can get as real time of updates as we can provide. I mean, it's not gonna be second by second, but we're going to provide as much as we can as we know it. Regarding the status and where different values may play, because it'll be, it's gonna be kind of a spatial look at things, a mapped look at things. And hopefully, that'll be appreciated, cause I know that a lot of people just wanna know more, they're hungry for information, so we're working to provide that. So yeah, as I mentioned, this time is sort of a major transition. As an organization, when you're starting from small, something starts and you're building up. And so right now, there's a lot of moving pieces, and those things are gonna be organized really in the next 24, 48 hours more so than they are in the first 24, 48 hours. And so that's what we're seeing right now. And just trying to bring awareness of that, awareness of the incident to different levels, make sure that we're all communicating well between all the partners. And with that, I would turn it over for any additional thoughts, comments, information to RIC, John Markoulinas.
Hello everyone, John Markoulinas, a resident of Buena Vista until recently. I moved back over the divide and came back home to Mountain Zone and the Pike San Isabel and the BLM to help out. So I just want to thank everyone in Lake County and adjoining Chaffee County. I think we may be getting close to being, we're definitely impacting that county line there, but we may not be at that point. Really good work yesterday by the local responders, the Mountain Zone folks, with the life and safety of the folks that were in the area. We are building forward. We're estimating roughly 120 people so far on the incident, and it's ramping up as we speak. So we have a number of resources arriving currently, and then some partners are sending, Aurora Water has sent some resources that just checked in. Good progress is being made with kind of the air attack, if you will, on the fire. So we have established, we have 2 heavy helicopters and the medium from DFPC. 3 helicopters currently. We're working the north side or the downslope side above the lake with water. And then we are working with retardant above, trying to maintain that same footprint. Good progress around the Interlaken area. It's been heavily staffed, and we've established a pretty good anchor this morning. As the fire continues to grow, like Pat said, we're building forward, and those resources are arriving. Lake County Station 2 is the ICP we've established. So that's the new station. That's just great to see. It was not built when I left, and it's quite a nice place. We are gonna work to occupy that and have briefings there every morning at 6 a.m. and start building forward. Our plan shop is there, and then we're working on logistical support for the incoming resources. We are very cognizant, I'm very cognizant as well, of the importance of Twin Lakes and the community and you know, the beautiful scenery of Lake County. So we're working through that as we proceed. Any questions for me? I just got on scene this morning about 7 a.m. So I'm just catching up. We're getting organized and getting our team put together. Really pleased with the team. It had been quiet till now, so there are resources available. We're having no issues getting the resources we need currently.
I had a question, you mentioned the 6 a.m. briefings, are those for responders working the fire, or will that be, are those public briefings?
They're generally for responders
Okay.
and partners, and agency representatives, but not the general public.
Yeah, okay, that's like more like an operational,
That's correct.
yeah, okay.
But we are working to have some meetings where we can have a little bit better public engagement, and answer
Yeah.
the questions that the community has.
Yeah,
That's a good segue. My name is Brian Banks. I'm a district ranger on the Pike, coming over to help. My role on this incident is liaison officer. So my job is to make sure that the partners are communicating and coordinating, and we're not only providing information, but getting information from all of you, because you know things that we don't know. Making sure we're, painting that common operating picture and we know what each other is doing. Part of that, typically, in more complex incidents, we will have a daily partners meeting where we could brief the partners as well as the public on operations. We still haven't figured out exactly what that's gonna look like. Maybe it could be every other day, or maybe it is every day, depending on the amount of interest that we have. But my role is to serve as that point of contact between partners, municipalities, utilities, those types of interagency sort of coordination. I'll provide my information to all of you. If you could use me as a point of contact, that would be great, as well as the sheriff. And then, like Chris said, we will, once we have our team built and we see what kind of public information system we have, we'll figure out a way to disseminate that information to the public as well.
I don't know if this is the great time. Can you explain a little bit about the mitigation that had been done by the Forest Service and what your anticipation of the fire activity might be in hitting that? And I mean, I know it's all a guess as to what might happen. But the mitigation done in the past, how close is it?
It's a
Looks
pretty
close.
interesting story out there. We were just there at the previous Flume Creek burn, which I believe was 2018. And the fire is about to check into that. It's a little off angle from that burn, so it's slightly uphill and
Yeah.
still slightly west and a little bit south. But that is, pretty much a good anchor point that it'll eventually hit if we don't choose to corral it first. We were just parked there right prior here, and it's, I would estimate about a quarter mile to a half mile from there, at least one spot. The challenge with lodgepole fuels is it tends to spot out in front of itself, so it's not so much fighting one continuous fire, but a series of leapfrogging fires. So the retardant we're putting in, is critical. The fuel conditions are variable from the bottom of the fire to the top. The aspen stringers are holding well, and there is a lot of aspen further up on the slope. Currently, the footprint is, was mapped at 443 acres a couple hours ago, and it is all on federal lands. We believe, Matt's BLM piece has possibly got fire real close to it, if not on it. We just haven't checked that out. Seems like the awareness is pretty well with summer traffic, but you guys all know the Interlaken trails pretty well. Willis Gulch is staffed with rec staff, the Interlaken trail staff. So public safety aspect, it seems like there's pretty good awareness, and we have a good operational environment at this time from that standpoint. Chris has been in coordination with both sheriffs. There's been some pre-evacs put out in Cache Creek, down in Lake Creek. That's just a precaution at this point. The fire is significantly far away, but it's a good practice that we do, is to give the people the early warning so they don't have to scramble, as things develop.
one question I'm hearing a lot is like, is it still okay for people to be on the Highway 82, north side of Twin Lakes? It sort of like seems really close, like when you're standing there, when you see it on a map, but that's Highway 82 is still open all the way
Yeah, no
through, and like
issues.
those Forest Service campgrounds on that side of,
Other than increased fire traffic activity and being cognizant as we pull in and out and folks, so we'll get that sign. Chris has been working with the local district to have those signs out. And then there's a fair bit of impact that we'll work with public information folks, just to make folks know we're aware of it, because it's a highly visible event, both down 24 and on 82.
And additionally, there's smoke impacts, especially at night, in the evenings when the inversion sets up, and I anticipate that to be the case, not so much on 82, but on 24.
How many crew is actually on the line out there, on the ground?
Currently, you wanna speak to that a little bit, or?
Yeah, so currently we do have a hot shot crew in place. We have one coming in really soon at 1500, they're coming down from Wyoming. We have a Arapahoe Roosevelt Type 2A crew, and then a mix of local and Lake County people that probably total around 30 or 40 that are on the direct edge and trying to minimize the footprint as best they can, especially on the lake side. So roughly that, but we're looking like John was saying, amping the hot shot crews, which are, the Billy Goat elite, to get in there and minimize that footprint as best we can. But it's gonna take time, but the resource availability is at least there.
And we do have a couple, 2 additional modules, one on order, and the city of Denver has a wildland module that has showed up and checked in. And it's a pretty steady stream of both supervisory personnel and, crews and engines, arriving as we speak. They're all starting to filter in, along with building out the, management team.
Thank you.
I can speak a little bit to the county level then.
Yeah, please.
Just to confirm, everything's been said, the communication's been great, so thank you guys very much for that. We're staying well informed on their efforts and how we can help with this started about 24 hours ago, and so yeah, it's been a busy 24 hours. Our initial response efforts went really well. We had a large turnout from the county staff to help out as however they could to make sure we had evacuation efforts ready to go if we needed to. We did put a pre-evacuation order in for residents on Lost Canyon Road, and then we extended that to the Balltown community, which we eventually lifted that pre-evacuation order for Balltown, but we kept it in place for the residents on Lost Canyon Road. As this looks to head further south, we did communicate with Chaffee County. We've been in contact with the sheriff down there, both yesterday and today, and that's where another pre-evacuation notice was sent out to Cache Creek and Clear Creek. A lot of campsites out there, and lack of cell phone reception, so the sheriff is sending deputies to go make personal contact with campers out there to make sure they're aware. That was part of our efforts yesterday, just to make sure that we're hitting dispersed campsites, which they ran into quite a few of them that didn't know what was going on, so that initial effort really paid off to make sure that we're preserving life. And that is our focus from the sheriff's office standpoint, is to make sure we're preserving life and property, and that we're taking responsibility for any of the resource needs that we can potentially provide. So in no particular order, just a couple thoughts that I wanted to, further thoughts that I wanted to talk about. We do have Brenda here from the state, who's here to help as needed, and has provided a trailer at the fire station too that we can utilize as a part of the command post. PIO communication has been going well. We have multiple agencies talking together, so I really appreciate that fact. We have Forest Service with help out there with them, our Sheriff's Office PIO, and Betty with the fire department. And their goal is to keep talking together, so we're sending out the same message and getting that message out to as many people as possible. Brian will talk some more about how you can help with that. It'd be great to have you involved with that. And so we're working through that, making sure that the community knows what's going on. That Forest Service is also involved in that, so they're comfortable with the message that we're releasing, and we plan on continuing to have that collaborative effort. Let's see. As for, to speak a little more on the roadway situation, I've been in contact with the State Patrol, so if we need any assistance with them, they're ready to help us. At this time, we don't have any road closures. We're not expecting any. We might have a little bit of visibility impact on Highway 24, not expecting that on Highway 82. Just Forest Service roads that are affected at this time. We do have law enforcement locally.
That's Scott, are you?
Yes, we have additional staff ready if we need them for any sort of road closures that may pop up, or if the evacuation orders end up in place. We have quite a few people on standby ready to go if that takes place. Positives, we haven't had any injuries as far as I'm aware, and we do have medical staff on standby. Flights have been notified, so if we do have a medical situation, that whole plan has been developed and they're ready to execute on that. So, but thankfully nothing has happened on that front. That's positive. As for like food, water, shelter, Claire, speak to that a little bit, what all the work you've done there.
Yeah, so my name's Claire Skeen, I'm the Director of Emergency Management for Lake County. My office has been helping, logistically our partners in the Sheriff's Office, as well as the Forest Service, led by Lake County Fire Rescue, with kind of the consequence management and the logistics of this. So when the Sheriff's Office issued pre-evacuation notices yesterday, we did have staff from the Department of Human Services as well as Lake County Public Health respond to set up an evacuation center at 6th Street Gym. It was not needed, so we stood that staff down. That center is currently closed but ready to be opened again if conditions should change. Outside of that, I've been working closely with Lake County Public Health to issue kind of smoke information. So if you're looking to be more cognizant of the smoke, kind of understand how it affects your health, I would encourage you to check out the Lake County Public Health Facebook page. They've been posting English and Spanish information there. In addition to that, kind of supporting our Forest Service and first responder partners, I've been working closely with Public Works and the Sheriff's Office to get food. That's been working really well. Public Works brought out their mobile kitchen units. We were able to provide lunch to our firefighters. And then we did breakfast as well this morning. We will continue to support them throughout the evening until tomorrow morning, until again we can kind of close that gap and make that transition. We do have a lot of partners here, which is really great. I have Noah McCord from the Division of Homeland Security Emergency Management, our central field manager here. So we've been working closely together to keep the state EOC up to date with any resource needs. So they've been a great partner in this. So I think, kind of moving into our next few days and hours, we'll be working on kind of operational planning, kind of trying to anticipate any resource needs in conjunction with the Forest Service as they make that transition. So I'm happy to answer any questions about emergency management activities.
I had a question, maybe just until we get that cadence going of like the public briefings, is the Sheriff's Office the best place for pre-evac and evacuation notices, and then the fire status is like the Forest Service? And I'm sorry, there's like an app that's great, and I've of course forgotten the name of it, like the wildfire app.
Yeah. I know there's gonna be multiple options for the dissemination of different information. We're actually looking at trying to combine a lot of things within the same place.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So that when a person might visit the site, might visit that app, clicks on that QR code, they're gonna have the opportunity to get sent to multiple places where the information is, so it's redundant and it's also unified. And so that's really what we're trying to do, is make everything available across the board, regardless of the platform that it's shared on.
Yeah, I just think like the next 12 to 24 hours until that's really up and running and people get to it. Cause I feel like it just, like the evacuation and pre-evacuation stuff has been flying around.
Yeah.
So it seems like that's coming out of the sheriff's
Yeah, for the
office for now,
evac stuff,
yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah, and fire status information is Pueblo Interagency Dispatch Center,
Okay.
and there's a Twitter feed for that.
And the evacuation will always come out of the sheriff's office, we'll just be providing that information
Okay.
once we get all on the same page.
Okay. Didn't have any other questions. I wanted to quickly recognize we have quite a few sort of other jurisdictions. We have representatives from the city, from Senator Hickenlooper's office, from Chaffey County, and I'm probably missing some because we have a long list of participants, but thanks to everyone from other jurisdictions attending. Oh, thank you. Seeing Brittany Pedersen's office. Thank you, Hannah. Yeah, please.
Just for the record, my name is John Sherby, I'm with the BLM of the Rocky Mountain District, I'm the district manager. And as we heard earlier, BLM land may or may not have been part of the fire yet, but certainly will respond accordingly or commensurate with the amount of land that's involved, or if our resources are gonna be requested to help out the fire service.
Cool.
So we're on standby.
Great, thanks.
And it does appear that we have some acreage in BLM now and some county land that's involved, based off of the last multi-mission aircraft mapping that was done.
Okay. I don't know, I wanted to ask other county staff if there are other things we need to say or questions you have while we have everyone in the room.
I wonder if-
Oh. Oh.
Oh, yeah, if you have any, So initially on dispatch, we responded with, local resources to the fire. We requested search and rescue because we knew that it was gonna be a long haul over there, and we thought the best way to go across was from the boat. So that was a great resource to set in place, and is currently being utilized for the fire operations to shuttle equipment and personnel across the lake. So that was exceptional. What we did initially on IA is we did structure protection. Of course, we know that there's historic structures over there, and that was our priority initially. So that's what we did as an organization, and then as the incident went further on, then we transferred command, and then now we're in the support role. So.
Yeah, nice. Sorry, Chief, I didn't see you back there.
The only thing to add is to add to Pat and that of just like the communications being redundant, right? The county website and social media pages will repeat what the sheriff's office posts, what Forest Service posts, or in conjunction with the various PIOs, we will push out through that way. So the county website can also be a resource, but we will, just have that redundancy.
It's probably too early to start talking about post-fire flooding or conditions but definitely starting, of course, everybody's aware now, down valley and in the basin, starting those conversations, so please let us know, what we can do to kind of get that rolling. Partners are ready. And again, I think it's worth reiterating I believe like the work the Forest Service did, thankfully with that mitigation work, there's a lot of work that goes into that before you actually do your prescribed fire. And so these conditions will likely look different with all the underbrush and so much more fuel on the ground, in this fire's boundary. So that'll be something for folks on the ground to consider, and I don't know if you have any idea of what that looks like then for, once everything's contained and this is over, should people be able to use the area, and what are some things that people should be thinking about in the next coming weeks?
Well, this fire will certainly produce some effects on the ground that have yet to be determined. And we're gonna assess those with, human safety at the forefront, risks associated with, some of the trails that are out there. And there will be certainly some post-fire effects that we'll have to mitigate. And there's gonna be a whole planning effort, a post-fire planning effort around what that looks like. We also have actually efforts currently underway for other mitigation work within this very same area, south side of Twin Lakes. And so, as we work on this fire and adapt to this fire, we're also thinking ahead of the other things that need to be done in the future, so things may not be so intense in the future.
And a couple things, just, currently we're very mindful of, the slope above the lake. Having been here a long time before, leaving recently, we've done a number of neat projects, including the historic sites Interlaken protective space that we started in 2007, 2008, 2009, where we went in and mitigated, or in the case of a fire. And then the Flume Creek prescribed burn. And the tactics we've currently chosen is, we're looking at MIST tactics, or minimum impact suppression tactics, of where we can control the fire efficiently without big consequences, and then hopefully maintaining the footprint to manage the impact, the downstream effects, if you will, of erosion and post-fire effects. But that prescribed burn in 2018, and the fact that we did some work around the Interlaken sites 10 years ago, burn piles, is important. But when we did do that project, that was very challenging. We cut and piled a lot of material, and then we moved that before we did that burn. And the areas where the fire is that material that's carrying the fire. And so some of that fire risk will be reduced. That fuel type will either come back lodgepole or aspen. So there is some beneficial parts to this fire as we proceed. But telling that story of having fuels work in the area was kind of a critical thing for our initial attack.
Maybe just to close, as we have a lot of public on, you had mentioned, like, there's a lot of emergency service vehicle traffic in the area, a lot of people, like members of the public, stopping to see what's going on. So maybe just reiterate to everyone, just be like super careful if you are driving down there. Just keep slow, keep your head, eyes open. There's gonna be a lot more traffic and bigger vehicles.
And this will be an extended event. It will be through the weekend. I know there's several festivals either on the west side of the divide or near at hand. And if we can really get the message out for folks to take it easy with us moving in and out of those side roads on Highway 82 and along 24.
Yeah.
And additionally, if we could ask people to please maybe look for other places to recreate during this time.
Okay.
Looks like Lori, city administrator, might have a question.
Okay, yeah, is that, I think we could take questions from other jurisdictions, yeah, so, Laurie, do you wanna go ahead?
Sure, not so much a question, but for those of you who haven't met, I'm Lori Simonson, I'm the city administrator, and just on behalf of the city, I know we have our mayor, Dana Green, here. Just thank you for the excellent communication from the county. I really appreciate that. It's been fantastic. We're just here to partner with you all and help pass out information. So we do have a banner on our website to get the information out. So county, please just let us know what we need to link to. Right now, we are linked to your flash news updates, which we're updating, I think, hourly. So let us know when information we can pass out for you, and please just let us know anything that we can partner with you on. We're happy to help.
Okay, thanks, Laurie, and thanks, Mayor Green. Any other closing comments or thoughts? I don't wanna take any more of your time. I just, yeah, maybe just close again. I mean, you've said it, but thanks so much for the great coordination between all the different entities working and the quick initial response to a really hard area to get to. And the quick ramping up over the last 24 hours. So thanks, everyone.
May I ask a few questions?
Sorry, we're not
May I ask a few questions?
taking public comment.
Yeah.
I was just curious if there was a burn zone for Twin Lakes.
I don't know what that is.
Don't know what that means. Yeah, let's Move ahead, sorry, you,
I just wanted to ask, for folks in this room, before you split out of here, could you get with me so I can make sure I have your contact information? I'd really like to get everybody's information here if that's possible. Thank you.
cool, yeah, thanks.
Are there, one more question,
Yeah,
sorry, I know that the aircraft that flew over yesterday to get us the 160 something acres that were impacted, and that has already flown over again to give us that 443 acre estimate. Are any of those images available? Do you post those? Is that not wise to do?
Yeah, we'll get with the public with our shop, our information shop, and we'll get maps out, as soon as we kind of get the product put together. We've had a couple glitches, so we'll improve the product, and we'll be glad to have maps out, and yeah, they're available, and I'm happy to share you a rough version on my phone now, but we'll try and get it more transportable. And we'll
Great.
probably keep those, flights happening to continue to give us updates. There's a lot of aircraft currently there. It's being well coordinated, but there's what's called an air attack platform that's tactically running the aviation show. And then above that is the multi-mission aircraft from the state that is gathering intel. And then all of that is also being fed into various models that, we can pull up online and present that to you. It's pretty fluid, so the picture is very different from yesterday to today, and again from this morning until now, so it's, it's changed about 130 acres since I got here at 7 today.
Yeah. Curious if we have any layers of that mitigation work that happened before and
It's
maybe
something we
how.
can probably get,
Okay.
here in the future. The one thing I would say is any imagery that we provide is gonna be old when it comes out, because this is a rapidly evolving incident, and so that'd be one thing for people just to realize is if you do see an image, just realize that that's hours old for the most part, and that likely it is not where the fire really is.
Yeah, understood. We'll keep, repeating that message as well. Thank you.
And last, for the public online, we know you have a ton of questions, and I know it's frustrating to not have answers right away, but we are working, and this team is in its infancy, but we will provide you with some information very soon, so please be patient with us.
That's right.
Okay. We all good? Thank you so much for this time and all the work you're doing. Thanks, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.